Chaos at the airports this morning. Check out this headline. FAA system restored after outage that halted all domestic flight departures in the US. The FAA said the ground stop was lifted at around 8:50 a.m. and normal air traffic operations were resuming gradually, keyword gradually, as it continues to look into the cause of the problem. This report is coming from NBC News. Certainly we understand a system that large, it was going to have to happen gradually, but we also know that there is an entire domino effect to a system this large and this important, disrupting every other thing, sending shockwaves and giving people flashbacks to what happened with Southwest Airlines. NBC News goes on to report flights across the United States resumed Wednesday morning, several hours after the Federal Aviation Administration suffered a computer outage that forced it to halt all departures nationwide while it scrambled, and I mean scrambled, to resolve the issue. Further, the FAA said the crippling delays that affected thousands of flights appeared to have been caused by a problem in the notice to the air mission system, which sends pilots vital information they need to fly. I mean, this, Jackson, to me sounds eerily similar to what happened with Southwest when they lost track of employees and also airplanes.
And the only difference is, well, maybe there's more than only, but one of the major differences is they got it turned around fast. Southwest, they lagged a little bit, but it's definitely good that the flights were down, because we don't want to have people flying all over the place and not knowing where everything is and not knowing where everybody's at. But I guess the silver lining to stuff like this is we see areas that need attention, that need adjustment. And obviously the FAA being a part of the federal government, we have opportunities to restaff people with every election. And this gives us opportunities to learn more about government agencies by looking into how they work. So that's my biggest take on it, is now we can hold them more accountable.
I love your silver lining.
You gotta find one. You gotta find one somewhere. You know what I mean?
You're right. Draws more attention to it. People will pay more attention. They'll study. They'll dig. And I especially like how you say we face a good chance to reset during every single election.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So some people understandably started to question whether or not this was a cyber attack, and that makes total sense to ask that a question. But according to White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre, investigators have seen no evidence of a cyber attack. Moreover, President Biden has ordered an investigation as well. He should. Regardless of whether or not, though, this was a cyber attack, it is clear that our country has not made the requisite investments in our transportation system, and that is the entire system, the infrastructure for our transportation system. We are woefully inadequate and behind many of the industrialized nations. According to experts, bad software is most likely the cause of the system-wide failure. And if that is in fact the case, guess what? We need to do better, and this is not something that just happened overnight in terms of knowing that we needed new software. It is, again, similar to Southwest in those ways, since Southwest, the technology that they were using or still using is from the 1990s. Let's see a statement made by Mr. Friedman, the president, Jeff Friedman, president and CEO of US Travel Association. And he made the following statement today. Today's FAA catastrophic system failure is a clear sign that America's transportation network desperately needs significant upgrades. Americans deserve an end-to-end travel experience that is seamless and secure. And our nation's economy depends on a best-in-class air travel system. We call on the federal policymakers to modernize. I want you to bold it, underline it, put an exclamation point, message in a bottle on the train, our vital air travel infrastructure to ensure our systems are able to meet demand, safety, and efficiently. Now, listen, he's right about that. And what he's asking for is not too much. This should be the order, every single administration should be looking at our transportation infrastructure and upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Dare I say upgrade? Yeah, I just want to say that one more time. Now, in the 2015 Business Roundtable report, this Business Roundtable gave a report titled "A Cause for Investing in Americans' Transportation Infrastructure." Some of the myriad of challenges facing our system was identified in this report. The US economy would certainly benefit from rebuilding America's transportation infrastructure. In the report, Road to Growth, there is an economic cost of neglecting the nation's transportation infrastructure. Consequences for not rebuilding America's transportation infrastructure. Here are some examples. America ranks number 16 in overall infrastructure quality, 16th behind Germany, France, and Japan. Now, since we are a hegemonic nation, there really is no excuse for that except for wanton neglect. They don't neglect enhancing and increasing in every administration, whether it's Republican or Democrat, the military industrial complex, but yet they cannot find the money in a bipartisan way to invest in our transportation infrastructure. Make it make sense, because it's making no sense to me. Highways and bridges, urban highway congestion cost the economy more than $120 billion in 2011. Behind Germany, France, and Japan. And the consequences for not rebuilding America's transportation infrastructure. The waterways and ports, all important. Lock delays, port congestion, and lack of facilities for larger ships added $33 billion to the cost of US production in 2010. On the aviation side, where we are right now, the United States is home to just 4 of the world's top 50 airports, and aviation congestion and delays cost the economy $24 billion in 2012. And our transit rail, only 25% of transit rail station infrastructure is rated good or excellent. So we got a problem. Now, various airlines have noted customers or notified customers that they should expect delays all day. Certainly understandable given the weight of and the size of the airline industry. And this is a bitter pill to swallow. It really is, especially given what people just had to endure because of Southwest Airline. Just a couple of weeks since then, we have this. So the Fed, they need to do their job, get on top of this right away.